So before we install the free Pyroraptor Java Graphical Interface, we need to install Java on your machine, and we need to install the 32-bit version of Java. So you bring up your search engine, and in this case DuckDuckGo, and we type Java JDK. Now it's important to know which one of these links you need to type into. So it's the Java SE downloads from Oracle. So make sure it's from Oracle. Click on that and you'll see this window show up. There's a Java SE 10.0.2. We are actually interested in the Java 1.8 version here, and we're going to describe how to install that in detail, in particular the 32-bit version of it. So we're interested in the JDK, so you go to JDK downloads, you accept the license. Now the key here is to select Windows 32-bit. The reason we use a 32-bit Windows version of Java is because the DLL is written in 32-bit and the C API is in 32-bit. Therefore, we need the 32-bit Java. You can download the 64-bit and have both on your system, no problems whatsoever, except we have to point to the 32-bit version. So let's go ahead and download that. Save the file. So we're saving the file. Let's go ahead and look at the progress. So here the file is being downloaded, and we can wait for this to happen. Our speed isn't all that bad. Okay, so we're almost finished with downloading. Let's go ahead and let it download. I want to show every step of the way. So here's the installer. If you don't see it, go to the taskbar below and click on the installer icon, and you'll see the Java installer setup. Of course, we hit next, and this is the JDK, so it has all the development tools, which is a good thing to have. It's good to program in Java, and this way you can also program in Java and get some more tools available versus just the JRE. Okay, so here's Java installing. There's a few things I want to show you after this installation is complete. In particular, where all this got installed under Windows. Okay, now this is something new, and says changes are coming, etc. We're okay. We're version 8, so let's go ahead and say OK on this one. Now the destination folder, we want to keep it where it wants to install, which is in C program files, x86, meaning the 32-bit version of Windows, applications, Java, JRE, etc. Just say next, and it's installing. So everything was successfully installed. Tutorials, API, if you want next steps, we'll go ahead and close this. And recall that we have installed the Java Development Kit, JDK, version 1.8.1. So let's go ahead and close this. Now, we don't need this website anymore, so we'll go ahead and minimize this. But before we do that, let's go ahead and see where Java got placed. So I'm going to go under the Windows and check out, of course, Windows 10 File Explorer is all over the place. So we'll open up this PC and go into local disk, and you'll see program files x86. You open that and you see all the applications. Let's go ahead and find Java. You open that and we have the JDK 1.8 and of course a version 181. Go ahead and double click that. The key thing is this bin directory, and in this bin directory you'll see the Java executable. Now normally when you install Java you might have the 64-bit version also, but we need to point to this version. I'm going to do a quick check, and that is bring up, which we will need to do anyways, is bring up the Windows console. So let's go ahead and do that. Of course, this is Windows 10, so it hides it someplace. So now we have it. We just want to make a comment that on Windows 10, if you want to bring the console up, all you have to do is go into the search window at the bottom and type command and then hit return. That's all you need to do, and the console will show up. So here we have the console, and if I type Java, notice that Java was found. Let's go ahead and see what version this is. See, that's key. So Java -version. Oops, let's get that. So this is good. So we got the Java version. So if you only installed 32-bit, it's going to point to the 32-bit Java. If not, we will have to edit some files. Okay, in this step we are going to install the Deolin drivers. So let's go ahead and get the browser up and running. So here we have the browser, and Deolin, you can type the site name. It's very easy, deolin.com. And they'll have the drivers for the Pyroraptor USB I2C SPI bridge. Now, when you go into the Deolin website, you're looking for products, and we're looking at the DLN2. So we're looking at the DLN2. So go over to here, click on this, and then they have documentation and downloads. And in there, we need to get the driver. So that's right over here where it says MS Windows Setup Package. Click on that, and let's go ahead and save this file. Let's see the progress. Okay, so let's open the file. We're going to say yes, and here's the license agreement. Make sure you read it. I agree. Next. Server-based or direct interface. Let's choose direct interface. Okay. Then we say install. Yes. So it's completed. So by the way, you might want to bookmark this page, because Deolin has a number of products, and this was a product we're interested in, the DLN2 USB I2C SPI. Now, what I'm going to do is minimize this, and I am going to plug in the Pyroraptor, and if in fact the driver is found, we're in business. You will hear that. So let's go ahead and plug this in. So to install the Pyroraptor Java Graphical Interface, we go to the Ionotronics website, and we have a tab here which is software. You click on that. When you bring up software, you'll see the Pyroraptor Java Graphical Interface. All you got to do is click on that. Now this is a nice page that describes the Java Graphical Interface. Lots going on. You're going to have a lot of fun with this. A lot of tabs with a lot of tools for doing a lot of work in I2C and SPI, and also dealing with robotics, in particular with Pwm I2C based controllers that we develop. So in order to get the free Pyroraptor Java Graphical User Interface, click on this link here, and we're going to download the I2C SPI tool.zip file. So we'll just say save, and it got downloaded. So here we have the zip file we just downloaded from the Ionotronics website, and I've just placed it on the desktop. So right click on that and say unzip it. So we extract it. A new folder is created. Now if we double click inside this folder, you'll see another folder. So this is where all the files are. And basically we have the I2C DLN.jar, which is our Java application, the I2C_DLN.dll, which is our DLL, which is how we interface to C API through Java native interface. These two are key files that Ionotronics provides. In this segment, we are going to show how to install the Microsoft Visual C++ redistribution for Visual Studio 2010. And here we show the directory for I2C SPI tool, and all you need to do is double click on this text file. So it brings up Notepad, and this is a link to Microsoft. So what we want to do is select it and copy it, and we are going to go to Microsoft's website and download and install the redistribution. This is usually needed for any application that uses a Visual C++ as we do to develop the DLL, which is the C API, which allows Java to talk to C through JNI. So very straightforward. Let's go ahead and bring the web browser up. So here we have the web browser. We do new and go into the link here and paste Microsoft.com. That's fine. And let's go to Microsoft's website. So when you get to the Microsoft website, you'll see a ad for Surface Pro. Now be careful, you don't want to click anywhere. Just scroll down till you see this download button. So that should be at the top, but hey, they want to sell Surface Pro. All right, so you want to click on this download button, and you're going to get this file here, VC Redist_x86.exe. We want to execute that. So first we save it. It's been downloaded. Double click on it and say yes. And here we go. So it'll tell you to either install it, or if you already have one installed, to repair it. And you just follow the instructions, say next. Installing the program, and we're done. So that's good. Microsoft just installed the redistribution for Visual C++ Studio Express 2010. So that's all you need. Go ahead and get rid of the web browser. Let's minimize this and get rid of this. And that's an important step to complete. We also include the DLL over here just in case things don't work out. So that is the DLL that is used for the Visual C++ work. I want to make a few comments on these bat files, xstart.bat and xstart32.bat. First of all, xstart.bat is used if you only install the 32-bit version of Java, because if we open that in a text editor, you'll notice that it directly executes Java, so it assumes that Java is on your path. Let's get rid of this. So you execute Java, it assumes it's on the path, and we assume that it's a 32-bit version. But if you have the 64-bit version, then that won't work. So you would need to point to the 32-bit version. But in case you only have the 32-bit version, you just type java-jar I2C_DLN.jar, and it'll bring up the graphical interface. All you need to do is double-click on the bat file. In fact, we'll do that right now. And you see that we're bringing up the application. the Pyroraptor Java Graphical Interface. Now this works because we only installed the 32-bit version of Java. In case you have multiple versions of Java and you need to point to the 32-bit version, we'll cover that right now. So let's get rid of this. So here we have the xstart32.bat. If we right click on that and open this up in the text editor, you'll notice that we have a path to Java explicitly in this .bat file. Now, to find out the 32-bit version of Java that you have on your system that we installed, you need to go to the File Explorer. And by the way, a good way to get to that is in the search button, by the start, you just type File Explorer. And this is a good little app. So Microsoft, I'm not showing this, but Microsoft will show you a File Explorer desktop app. Make sure you right click on that and say pin to taskbar. It's a good thing to have in a taskbar. So here we just clicked on that, and the idea is that we're going to go into the C drive, into program files, and under Java we have various versions of Java that were installed, and we're looking for the latest that we installed, which is JDK 1.8.0_181. We'll go in there, we go into the bin directory, and Java is right here. So we need a path to this. Best way to get this path is to go here, right click here, and say copy address as text. Okay, so we go back to our text editor. So the idea is that when you get to the xstart32.bat, you need to highlight this path here up to bin, and then you say paste, and that will of course point to the 32-bit Java application. Okay, so you actually stored the path to the bin directory. You need to add a backslash and Java, or just use what's in xstart32.bat and leave it at that, and just paste into this area I'm highlighting here, the path to the Java bin directory. That's it. Now if we do this, let's go ahead and save it and get rid of this window. Now if we double click on xstart32.bat, we'll see that the Pyroraptor Java Graphical Interface shows up with the console. Now the console is very important, and a lot of messages are sent to the console, so we need to pay attention to the console as we're running the applications, including any error messages that might show up. And here's the graphical interface, and let's move it aside. You can see the console, and on the graphical interface we'll scan for devices, and as we scan for devices we see the device 4E, which is the Ionotronics potentiometer and meter with the 4-channel ADC and 1-channel DAC device, which is a very handy device. We've hooked it up to the Pyroraptor, and as we scan for devices we see it over here. Its address is 4E. Now we have a nice application here on this tab, ADCs and DAC. If you hit that, you see these Java beans over here. Now these Java beans are very convenient, and as we're going to show, they display the 4 voltages measured on the 4-channel ADC simultaneously. So let's go ahead down here and type in 4E for the address for the pot meter, and we're going to run at a 300 millisecond interval, so we'll be making measurements at every 300 milliseconds. And we also have this slider here that allows us to output to the DAC, but we'll run this right now, and as we run it we can go and get the pot meter, and I'm going to change the dials, and you'll see that as I move the dial on the potentiometer, the Java bean displays the measured value, and these are very convenient, and this is showing that of course our interface is working fine. So one of the best things you can do is connect the pot meter to your Pyroraptor and do this measurement and check out everything working on the I2C bus. We have other tabs too. Let's go ahead and do a quick review of some of these tabs. So one of the tabs is Pwm I2C control, which is the control of a 6 degrees of freedom robotic arm. Each one has an individual I2C address talking to a I2C slave 16F PIC 16F1825, which implements an I2C slave and does the whole PWM control. So we have this, so you can control a robotic arm. We have the rotation tab, which measures the rotation using an optical encoder on a motor shaft, and this is very convenient. So we'll actually see the rotation rate on the motor. We actually have a rover speed one, which has 4 of them, since we can measure the rotation on each individual motor in this application with these Java beans all through the Pyroraptor. Very nice. And here's some other ones. Let's go ahead and take a look at the SPI interface. So this basically allows us to read and write to SPI devices. We have a nice YouTube tutorial on this. And let's go ahead and show the radar. This is an interesting application using a laser for range finding. And on our website, we'll have videos of this. We actually demonstrated this in SmallSat 2018. Now, one other very important application is the Pwm Servo. So let's go ahead and show that. So in the Pwm Servo, we can actually control one particular motor at a time. We put its address and we can control its position using the PWM values here. And another great application is the pan and tilt ultrasonic. So if we click on that, we have various fields here in order to control a pan and tilt system with 2 motors at 2 different I2C addresses. We have the ultrasonics on an I2C address also. And we have a Java bean here, which will show the distance from the ultrasonic as it measures any object in front of it. And we can move these sliders and change the pan and tilt and so forth. We can also tie it to the potentiometer. So a lot of applications built in. Of course, the key application is the I2C tab here, where we can scan the bus and talk to individual I2D devices, read and write to them. So we have a number of tutorials on all of this on YouTube. Go ahead and visit our website, and we have an introduction to the Pyroraptor. And after you installed everything and everything's working, make sure to go visit the YouTube site with our introduction to the Pyroraptor tutorial.